Certain people, how you're doing, and welcome to my match review of the Carabao Cup second round tie between West Ham United and Charlton Athletic last night. As expected, it has to be said, it was the Hammers that ran away the victors. They won the game by 3-0. However, a lot of positives to take from Charlton's side of the game. We did play quite well actually, a lot better than I'd expected, but ultimately it was West Ham's quality that was able to shine through and they managed to grab 3 pretty decent goals, it has to be said. But Charlton played well, and there is a part of me that thinks that the 3-0 scoreline isn't a true reflection of how we played. So let's start things off by talking about both teams' lineups. Starting with Charlton, obviously away from home. I was expecting us to make quite a lot of changes coming into this, and we did make some changes, but the squad ended up being a lot stronger than I thought it was. It was Ben Amos in goal, a back four of Ben Purrington, Dedros Ilaja, Charlie Barker and George Lapsley. Charlie Barker returning to his natural position of centre-back, George Lapsley dropping from midfield into the right-back role. We had 4 in the midfield of Alfie Doughty on the left, Erhan Oztumer on the right, Dylan Levitt and Darren Pratley in the centre. Levitt making his Charlton debut, so I was really excited to see what he could do. Pratley captain in the side, Oztumer out on the wing where he played against Wimbledon in the EFL Trophy game in which he scored. We played Johnny Williams in behind the striker as the attacking midfielder, the number 10 in the formation, and we had Macaulay Bonne leading the line on his own. West Ham, with their team, David Moyes just went for the kill really. He went with a lot of star players. He went with Darren Randolph in goal, former Charlton player, of course. Youngster Ben Johnson started at right back with Balbuena, Diop and Masuaku finishing off the back line. Robert Snodgrass and Josh Cullen making his return against Charlton, which was heartbreaking to see. They had 3 in the attacking midfield area, that being Andrei Yarmolenko, Manu Lanzini and Felipe Anderson, and Sebastian Aller led the attacking line. So quite a strong team for West Ham on paper. I remember seeing a stat on Twitter saying that Charlton's team was worth a measly 200k. West Ham's starting 11 that game was worth 181 million. So that just shows... it just shows you the scale and the difference between the two sides going into that. Yeah, when I saw that lineup, I was expecting us to get an absolute thumping. Even though we did get thumped, I felt that we did play well in that game. We had some good chances and we did give West Ham a good fight in some stages of the game. Now, for the first opening 15, not all too much happened. Both teams were trying to move the ball nicely throughout the midfield. West Ham were definitely having the more attacking chances, but our defence was managing to deal with it. But the Hammers finally broke the deadlock past the 21st minute mark. West Ham tried to move the ball out on the left-hand side with Masuaku. He plays it into Josh Cullen, who pings a lovely ball into Yarmolenko, who timed his run to perfection. He pulls it back across the box. Amos can't get a hand to it, and Sebastian Aller puts away his first goal of the season. When I was watching that at first, because the angle that you can see here, it was the only angle that was available to us. There was no replay to see whether it was offside or not, but when Cullen pinged that ball in and then it cut to Yarmolenko miles away from the defensive line, I felt he was miles offside, but there were journalists who were watching the game saying that, yeah, he timed his run to perfection, so fair play to that. Amos just couldn't get a hand to it in the end, and Aller with a simple tap-in for his first goal of the season. A confidence boost, hopefully, for Aller. £41 million striker coming over from Frankfurt. Didn't have the best of seasons last year. He'd obviously be looking to kick on and get some games in the Premier League this year. He actually didn't start in their game against Newcastle. And what even was a bigger confidence boost was that he got his second goal of the night 5 minutes later. They were moving ball through the midfield with Yarmolenko, pinged it across to Robert Snodgrass, who pinged in a left foot cross. Haller beat both Purrington and Dedros Ilaja to the header to make it 2-0. A good header and a very good cross from Snodgrass. Charlton find themselves 2-0 down in the space of 5 minutes after the 26 minute mark. Some were saying it actually went against the run of play. I don't know what to think about that, to be honest. I think it was a fairly even game. We were giving them a good go, you know, we were moving the ball nicely in the midfield, weren't really getting all too many shots off, but we seemed to grow into the game more with having shots and creating those attacking chances after we went 2-0 down. But West Ham at this point were pretty much in cruise control, and yeah, Aller with a brace, as I say, definitely a confidence boost for him. Now, as I say, Charlton grew into the game in terms of attacking chances after we went 2-0 down. Dylan Levitt moved it out to George Lapsley out on the midfield. He fed in Johnny Williams, who most of our attacking chances were coming through that game. One of our players who had the most shots in that game was Johnny Williams, which was a good sight to see. He did have a shot just outside the box on the right side. Randolph got a hand to it, a little bit of a fumble, and it spun out for a corner. Obviously, with Ernest Tuma and Johnny Williams on the pitch at the same time, you would half expect there to be a lot of corners. But yeah, Johnny with a good chance there. Then came probably our closest chance of the game so far. Williams out on the left-hand side, plays in Alfie Doughty, who sprints away from about 3 West Ham defenders, crosses it into the penalty area, and Bon slides in but can't get his foot to it. That by far was our closest chance of the game. Doughty with some blistering pace, taking on the likes of Cullen, Diop. I think he got past Johnson as well. Doughty and Ben Johnson was definitely one of the most interesting battles going on that pitch. It was very evenly matched between those two, definitely giving them a good battle between them. Very good chance there from Bon. It was a shame that he couldn't quite get his foot to it. If he'd got his foot to it, that would have gone in, and probably it would have been a different game had we got that goal in. And that was the end of the first half. West Ham went 2-0 up at half-time, and a relatively positive first half for Charlton's standards. Obviously 2-0 down to a Premier League side, it's something that we expected, but we grew into the game after we went behind. After we went behind, it was kind of like we had nothing to lose, we may as well just go for it, and we really did go for it. Williams with a good chance, Bon very nearly sticking it away, which could have made the second half a different half to what it actually was, but a relatively positive performance. A lot of positives to take from that first half. And then in the second half, I actually felt we turned the screw, and we did have another good chance here at the start of the half through Johnny Williams, as the West Ham were trying to move the ball between Cullen and Balbuena. Balbuena produces a loose ball to Cullen. It's then chipped in the air by Oztuma. Anike, who just come on from Macaulay Bon, heads it down, plays into Johnny Williams, who chests it, takes it on the volley, but it is a very good save from Darren Randolph. Williams, as I say, most of our attacking chances and our shots were coming through the Welshman, and again forcing another good save from Randolph. Chuks Anike again made another impact coming off the bench. As much as I would like him to start games, and I really do hope that he does start a couple of games in League One this season, he is an impact player. He really can make an impact on the bench. I actually don't think since the behind closed doors period has started, he hasn't made a bad appearance coming off the bench. And I really do mean that. He really has been a solid impact coming off the bench. And in this game in particular, he gave Diop and Balbuena some problem. Aerial threat, holding up the ball nicely, chesting it down, as you can see there from that chance with Johnny Williams, nearly setting him up. Johnny with a great volley. And whilst we were having these chances, West Ham eventually cut us open for a third time. Felipe Anderson out on the left-hand side pinged it to Manu Lanzini. He takes on poor Charlie Barker, age 17, twists and turns him, absolutely mugs him off, lays it off to Felipe Anderson, who drills a low-driven shot into the back of the net for 3-0. Not all too much Charlie Barker really could have done there, to be honest. I mean, after all, he is up against Manu Lanzini, who just tore him apart, absolutely. Pulled his pants down, just ran through him, laid it off to Anderson. A good little strike from the Brazilian. Not much Charlie could really do there. Lanzini just literally just took the piss out of him, just absolutely ran riot round him. And a very good goal from West Ham. And West Ham nearly made it 4-0, as once again Yarmolenko tries to ping it towards Alea and Lanzini. It was punted away by Barker. Lanzini picks up the ball, plays it into Anderson inside the box. Lanzini gets it back, plays it into Alea, who's on a hat-trick, but a superb block from Deji Oshilaja. Had that deflected off Oshilaja the wrong way, that could have gone in as an own goal, but very well done by Oshilaja. Oshilaja really has impressed me this season. I know that he's playing in League One, which is more than likely his level. But again, against a side like West Ham, he was playing well. He really has played well this season so far, and that's full credit to him. Obviously, he wasn't the best last season, didn't necessarily rate him. I think a lot of people were actually saying I'd rather see Oshilaja leave. But obviously, due to the circumstances, we've had to keep him in. He's had to start. And fair play to him, he's done well. He has done very, very well. So that is how the game ended. The Hammers coming away 3-0 victors against a limited addict side, it has to be said. Honestly, there is a part of me that does think that that scoreline is unfair to our performance. I actually think we did play really well. As I say, we were moving the ball around nicely. We were creating some chances. As I say, after we went 2-0 down, it felt like that we had nothing to lose and we just went, sod it, we'll just go for it and create some chances. Doughty was causing the defensive line's problems with his pace. Johnny Williams had some good efforts in there. Macaulay Bon came close with that chance in the first half. Bon played the first half and Ike played the second. And Chuks had the better game in my opinion. I thought he played really well coming off the bench. An impact player, holding the ball around nicely. Dylan Levitt, obviously on loan from Man United, he made his first appearance. A lot of people were saying that he was shit and he had a bad game. Look, it was his debut in a cup against the Premier League side, so obviously he's going to be nervous. We need to be patient with Levitt. Of course, he is a young lad, he is 19. We can't expect him to go straight in the deep end against West West Ham, of course, a Premier League opposition, and tear it up. That's not going to happen. And a lot of people were saying, oh, Levitt was poor and things like that. I felt he played all right. I felt his passing was very good. Obviously, Manu was saying that he is one of, if not the best passer at the club, and I could see glimpses of that. Did get caught out a couple of times, obviously, but that could be due to nervousness. Obviously, he hasn't played at all for us yet, so that was obviously expected. But look, you can't judge him off that game. We can't really judge him yet. It is a cup that, let's face it, is not really important, and it was against West Ham at the London Stadium. Our defenders were playing well. Barker obviously got twisted in and out by Lanzini for their third goal, but all in all, I actually think he had an half-decent game. Oshalaja was good as well. Amos was called into action quite a few times throughout this game, saved a couple. I felt he was alright as well, but yeah, a lot of positives to take from that performance. I felt that 3-0 was a bit of a harsh scoreline. I felt we probably should have scored with the chances that we did have, in particular with those Johnny Williams chances and that Macaulay Bond chance, which went amiss. But all in all, a relatively decent performance against a Premier League side. We did alright. So that is it for this match review of the Carabao Cup second round tie between West Ham United and Charlton Athletic. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on the post notifications so you're notified of when I post. Thank you all so much for 2,500 subscribers. That is absolutely mental. Thank you all for the support recently. It's been insane to see. I'm looking to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, so if we could do that, that'd be absolutely awesome. What do you guys think of last night's game? Let me know in the comments below. It's a perfect opportunity to focus on the league, which is what's most important. We are trying to get out of this league at the first time of asking, which may be a step too far. This has been Tyler Rollington. Have a nice day, and I'll see you all on Saturday for the first game at the Valley in 2020-21, coincidentally against Doncaster Rovers. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all later.